Daniel chapter 6. So Darius the Mede took over the kingdom at the age of 62, delivered from the lion's den. It pleased Darius to appoint 120 satraps to rule throughout the whole kingdom, with 3 administrators over them, of one whom was Daniel. These satraps were accountable to them so that the king would not be troubled. Now this Daniel was distinguishing himself among the supervisors and satraps because he had an extraordinary spirit in him. In fact, the king planned to appoint him over the entire kingdom. At this time, the supervisors and satraps tried to find ground for a charge against Daniel regarding the kingdom, but they were unable to find fault or corruption because he was trustworthy, and no negligence or dishonesty could be found in him. Finally, these men said, "We're not going to find any basis for charges against this man Daniel unless we find something against him regarding the law of his God." So these supervisors and satraps went into the king as a group and said to him, "King Darius, live forever. All the supervisors of the realm, the magistrates and satraps, ministers and governors have all agreed that the king should issue an edict and enforce a decree that everyone who prays to any god or man for 30 days other than you, O king, will be cast into a lion's den. Now, O king, issue the decree and put it in writing so that it may not be altered according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be repealed." Thereupon King Darius issued the written decree. Now when Daniel learned that a written decree had been issued, he went to his house, where the windows in his upper room opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he knelt down, prayed, and gave thanks before God, just as he did before. Then these men came as a group and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. So they approached the king and spoke to him about the royal decree. "Didn't you issue a written decree that anyone who prays to any god or man for 30 days except you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?" The king replied, "The decree stands according to the law of Medes and the Persians, which cannot be repealed." Then they answered and said to the king, "Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king, or to the decree that you put in writing. He still prays 3 times a day." When the king heard this report, he was deeply distressed, and he set his mind on how he might rescue Daniel. Until the sunset, he struggled to find a way to save him. Then these men came as a throng into the king and said to the king, "Remember, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians that no decree or edict which the king issued may be altered." So the king gave order. The order to Daniel was brought and thrown to the lion's den. Now the king spoke to Daniel, saying, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." A stone was brought to block the mouth of the den. The king sealed it with his own signet ring and with the signet ring of his nobles, so that nothing could be changed regarding Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. No entertainment was brought before him. He was unable to sleep. At dawn, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. As he reached the den, he cried out to Daniel with a voice in anguish. The king spoke out to Daniel, saying, "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God, whom you serve continually, able to rescue you from the lions?" Daniel spoke to the king, "May the king live forever. My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths so that they have not harmed me, because I was found innocent before him, nor have I committed any crime against you, O king." And the king was overjoyed and ordered Daniel to take up out of the den. So Daniel was lifted up out of the pit. No injury of any kind was found on him, because he had trusted in his God and the king's command. Those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and thrown into the lion's den. They, their children, and their wives. They had not been even reached the bottom of the pit before the lions overpowered them and crushed all their bones. Then King Darius wrote to all the peoples, nations, and languages dwelling in all the earth, "May your peace be abundant. I issue a decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom, people are to tremble with fear before the God of Daniel, for he is a living God, enduring forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He delivers and rescues. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on earth. He has delivered Daniel from the power of the lion." So Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel's vision of 4 beasts. In the first year of King Belteshazzar of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and visions passed through his mind as he was on his bed. He wrote down a summary of the dream. Daniel said, "I was looking in my vision at night, and behold, the 4 winds of heaven were churning up the great sea. 4 huge beasts came up from the sea, each different from the others. The first was like a lion with eagle's wings. As I watched, its wings were pulled off, and it was lifted off the ground. It was made to stand upon 2 feet like a man. The heart of a human was given to it. And behold, there before me was another beast, a second one like a bear. It raised itself up on the side. It had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. It was told, 'Arise, devour much flesh.' After that I looked, and behold, there was another one like a leopard. On its back it had 4 wings like those of a bird. The beast also had 4 heads, and it was given authority to rule. After this, in my vision at night, I looked, and behold, there was a 4th beast, terrifying, frightening, tremendously strong, with large iron teeth. It devoured and crushed, and anything that was left in it trampled its feet. It was different from the beast that came before it. It had 10 horns. While I was pondering the horns, behold, another horn, a small one, sprang up between them, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted from before it. And behold, this horn had eyes resembling human eyes and a mouth speaking boastfully. Ancient of Days, the Son of Man. And Son of Man. While I was watching, thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His garment was as white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was ablaze with flames, its wheels a burning fire, a river of fire flowing and coming out from before him. Thousands and thousands attended him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. I kept watching because of the boastful words that the horn was speaking. I continued watching until the beast was slain and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. As for the rest of the beasts, their dominion had been taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I was watching in the night visions. Behold, one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was brought into his presence. Dominion, glory, and sovereignty were given to him, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will never pass away, and his kingdom is one that will not be destroyed. Interpretation of the beast. As for me, Daniel, my spirit was disturbed within me, and the visions of my head alarmed me. I approached one of those standing nearby and asked him the true meaning of all this. So he spoke with me and revealed the interpretation of these things. These large beasts, 4 in number, are 4 kings that will rise from the earth, but the Kedoshim of the Most High will receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever. Yes, forever and ever. Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the 4th beast that was different from all the others, exceedingly terrifyingly, with iron teeth and bronze claws, which broke in pieces and devoured and stomped with its feet anything that remained. With the 10 horns on its head, the other horn that sprang up before which the 3 others fell, that horn had eyes and a mouth, speaking arrogant things, and its appearance was more imposing than its companions. As I was watching, that horn was waging war against the Kedoshim and overpowering them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was rendered in favor of the Kedoshim of the Most High. When the time came and the Kedoshim possessed the kingdom, thus he explained, the 4th beast will be a 4th kingdom on earth that will be different from all the other kingdoms. It will devour the whole earth and trample it and crush it. As for the 10 horns, out of the kingdom 10 kings will arise. Another will rise after them, but he will be different from the 1 previous ones. He will subdue 3 kings. He will speak words against the Most High and will continually harass the Kedoshim of the people of the Most High, and will try to change the appointed times. The Kedoshim will be handed over to him for a times and time and a half, but the court will sit, and he will be stripped of his power to be destroyed and abolished for all time. Then the kingdom, power, and greatness of the kingdoms under all the heaven will be given to the people of the Kedoshim of the Most High. Their kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions will serve and obey him. This is the conclusion of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly troubled me, and the color drained from my face, but I kept the matter in my heart. Daniel chapter 8. Daniel's vision of a ram and a goat. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared to me, Daniel, after the one that had appeared to me earlier. In the vision, I saw myself in the citadel of Shushan, which is in the province of Elam. In the vision, I saw that I was beside the Ulai Canal. I lifted up my eyes and looked up. Behold, a ram with 2 horns was standing in front of the canal. The 2 horns were long, but one was longer than the other, but the longer one grew up last. I saw the ram charging toward the west and north and south. No animal could stand against him. None could ever deliver him from his hand. So he did as he pleased, and he magnified himself. While I was contemplating this, behold, a male goat came from the west, crossing the face of the whole earth without touching the ground. Now the goat had a conspicuous horn between his eyes. He came up to the 2-horned ram that I had seen standing beside the canal and charged it with raging strength. I saw him attacking the ram furiously, striking the ram and shattering his 2 horns. Now the ram was not strong enough to stand against him, so he knocked the ram to the ground and trampled him. No one could rescue the ram from his power. The male goat became exceedingly great, but as soon as he became mighty, the large horn was broken, and in its place 4 prominent horns grew up toward the 4 winds of heaven. Out of one of them came forth a small horn, which grew extremely large to the south and to the east, and toward the beautiful land. It grew as high as the host of heaven, and hurled up some of the hosts of the stars down to earth and trampled them. It set itself up to be as great as the prince of the hosts. It took away from him the daily offering, and the place of his sanctuary was thrown down. The host was given over along with daily sacrifice in the course of its rebellion. It will hurl truth to the ground and prosper in what it does. Then I heard the Holy One speaking, and another Holy One said to the one that was speaking, how long will that vision last? The daily sacrifice be forsaken because of the rebellion, the sanctuary be surrendered, and the host be trampled. Then he said to me, for 2,300 evenings and mornings, and then the sanctuary will be vindicated. Interpretation of vision, Persian ram and Greek goat. Now it happened that while I, Daniel, was watching the vision and trying to understand it, behold, standing before me was one with the appearance of a man. Then I heard a human voice coming from between the banks of the Ulai, calling and saying, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. He came near where I was standing. As he approached, I was terrified and fell on my face. But he said to me, Son of man, understand that the vision pertains to the time of the end. While he was speaking to me, I fell into a deep sleep, with my face to the ground, but he touched me and stood me up and said, Behold, I am going to inform you about what will happen later in the time of wrath, for the vision pertains to the appointed time of the end. The ram that you saw with the 2 horns stands for the king of Media and Persia. The buck, the male goat, is the king of Greece, and the large horde between the eyes is the first king. The 4 horns that replace the one that was broken will represent 4 kingdoms that will arise from this nation, though not with its power. Now toward the end of the reign, when the measure of transgression is completed, a stern-faced king, a master of intrigue, will arise. His power will be mighty, but it will not be his strength alone. He will cause extraordinary devastation and succeed in whatever he does. He will destroy both the powerful and the holy people. By his cunning he will cause deceit to prosper under his hand, and he will consider himself superior. He will destroy many, taking them unaware. He will even stand up against the prince of princes, yet he will be broken, but not by human hands. Now the vision of the evenings and the mornings that have been told to you is true, but seal up the vision, for it concerns many days from now. Then I, Daniel, was stricken and languished for days. Then I got up and went about the king's business, but I was astounded at the vision that no one could explain it. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel confesses Israel's sins. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus of Midian descent, who was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood from the books that according to the word of Adonai to Jeremiah the prophet, the number of the years for filling desolation of Jerusalem would be 70 years. So I set my face to the Lord God to seek him by prayer and supplication with fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. I prayed to Adonai my God and confessed, saying, O Lord, the great and awesome God, who keeps covenant and mercy with those who love him and keep his mitzvot. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have acted wickedly, we have rebelled, we have turned away from your mitzvot and from your rulings. We have not listened to your servants, the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings, our leaders, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. You, Lord, are righteousness, but shame covers our face to this day. The people of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and all Israel, near and far, and all the countries where you have banished them, because they have behaved unfaithfully toward you. Adonai, shame covers our face, our kings, our leaders, our fathers, because we have sinned against you, our Lord. The Lord our God is compassionate and forgiving, even though we have rebelled against him. We have not obeyed the voice of Adonai Eloheinu by walking in his Torah that he set before us through his servants the prophets. Yes, all Israel has transgressed your Torah and has turned away, not obeying your voice. Therefore the curse and sworn judgment written in the Torah of Moses, the servant of God, has been poured out upon us, for we have sinned against him. So he has confirmed his word that he spoke against us and against our rulers who ruled over us, by bringing on us a great calamity. Under the whole heaven, nothing like this has ever been done to Jerusalem. As it is written in the Torah of Moses, all this calamity came to us, yet we have not sought the favor of Adonai Eloheinu by turning away from our iniquities and paying attention to your truth. So Adonai was intent on bringing the calamity upon us, for Adonai Eloheinu is righteous in his deeds that he has done, while we have not paid attention to his voice. So Adonai Eloheinu, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, made for yourself a name to this day, we have sinned, we have acted wickedly. Lord, in keeping with all your righteous acts, let your anger and your fury turn away. Please, from Jerusalem, your city, your holy mountain, because of our sins and the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people have become an object of scorn to all those around us. So now, our God, listen to the prayers and petitions of your servant, and cause your face to shine upon your devastated sanctuary for the sake of my Lord. Give ear, my God, and hear. Open your eyes and see our desolation in the city called by your name. We do not present our supplications before you because of our own righteousness, but because of your great compassions. Lord, hear. Lord, forgive. Lord, listen and act. For your own sake, O my God, do not delay, for your city and your people are called by your name. The Mashiach in 70 weeks. While I was still speaking and praying, confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplications before Adonai my God, on behalf of the holy mountain of my God, yes, while I was praying, Gabriel, the one who I had seen earlier in the vision, came to me swiftly about the time of the evening offering. He instructed me and said to me, Daniel, I have come now to give you insight and understanding. At the beginning of your request, a message went out. I have come to declare it to you, for you are greatly esteemed. Therefore consider the message and understand the vision. 70 weeks are decreed concerning your people and your holy city, to put an end to transgression, to bring sin to an end, to atone for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the Holy of Holies. So know and understand, from the issuing of the decree to restore and to build Jerusalem until the time of Mashiach the Prince, where there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. It will be rebuilt with the plaza and a moat, and it will be in times of distress. Then after the 62 weeks, Mashiach will be cut off and have nothing, and the people of a prince who is to come will destroy the city and the sanctuary. But his end will come like a flood. Until the end of the war that is decreed, there will be destruction. Then he will make a firm covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he will put to an end a sacrifice and an offering, and on a wing of abominations will come one who destroys, until it is decreed annihilation is poured out on the one who destroys. Daniel chapter 10. Angelic princes battle for 21 days. In the 3rd year of King Cyrus of Persia, a message was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. The oracle was true and concerns a great war. He understood the message and gained insight through a vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 whole weeks. I ate no rich food, nor did meat or wine enter my mouth, nor did I anoint myself with oil until the end of the 3 weeks. Now on the 24th day of the 1st month, while I was beside the bank of the great river, the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold from Uphaz around his waist. His body was like yellow jasper, his face like a flash of lightning, his eyes like fiery torches, his arms and his feet like the gleam of burnished bronze, and the sound of his words like the roar of a multitude. Only I, Daniel, saw the vision of the men that were with me, and I did not see the vision. Nevertheless, such great terror fell upon them that they fled and hid themselves. So I was left alone to see the great vision. My strength drained from me, and my vigor was destroyed. I could not summon any strength, yet I heard the sound of his words. When I heard him speaking, I fell on my face in a deep sleep, with my face to the ground. Then behold, a hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees. He said to me, Daniel, highly valued man, carefully consider the words I am speaking to you. Stand up, for now I have been sent to you. When he spoke this word to me, I stood up trembling. Then he said to me, don't be afraid, Daniel. From the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard and have come because of your words. And I have come because of your words. However, the prince of the kingdom of Persia resisted me for 21 days. But behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to me, help me, because I had been detained there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the future days, for the vision concerns the days yet to come. While he was speaking these words to me, I bowed my face toward the ground and was speechless, and behold, one who resembled a human touched my lips. I opened my mouth and spoke and said to him that stood there before me, O my Lord, because of the vision, anguish has overcome me, and I have no strength. For how can this servant of my Lord speak with my Lord, since no strength remains in me, and no spirit is left in me? Again, the one who looked like a man touched me and strengthened me. Then he said, highly valued man, do not fear. Shalom to you. Be strong now, Chazak. Even though he spoke to me, I was strengthened, and said, let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, do you understand why I have come to you? Now I must return to fight against the prince of Persia. When I go, behold, the prince of Greece will come. But first I will tell you what is recorded in the writing of truth. No one strengthened me against these except Michael, your prince.